Wow. I didn't know whether to break dance or just stand aside and watch this. Hi, what's going on? My peoples. Listen, I love the energy from these guys. You know, when the music was going on, the rapper, they came out, I'm like, no, make some noise, some people. Yeah, that is the energy. That is the sound of success. People that are excited to learn, people that are excited to meet people, people that are open-minded to embrace different cultures, to start new beginnings, to shift the paradigm of how they think, how they see, how they hear, how they perceive, how they react to situations. So as you've noticed, I didn't come with slides or algorithms or patterns or written scripts. I like to do this differently. That is not to say that when you follow a certain pattern, it doesn't work. It does work. Believe me. But I'm just different. So I said what I wanted to do was an interactive session because it would tailor your needs, your questions specifically to how you want to live. And then I can answer from the wealth of experience that I think I've garnered over the years that hopefully will set you on a new course, a new path to realizing your dreams. When Pastor B, forgive me, that's what I call him, said, hey, Jim, I need you to come out here, speak to my friends, my people. I said, I don't know if I'm best suited for this. But he said, yeah, that I think you're best suited. Ladies and gentlemen, I've lived a certain different life. Sometimes I think I'm 100 years old. And then there are days I wake up, I think I've lived the life of 10 people. I've been through ups and downs in my life. I've been to the bottom too many times than I can recount. And thankfully, by the grace of God, we don't look like what we've been through. It's only grace. It's only grace. So first of all, I want to express my humility, my gratitude for inviting me. I know there are an area of many stars, many celebrities, many socialites, many famous people across the world you could have invited to share your stage, but yet you chose Jim Iyke. I will impart to you what I know. Hopefully, it will change something in your life that you need most. I will learn from you in that bargain, because when I stand to say what I know, I don't come from the point of view of a tutor alone. I also come as a student. Because when we're done today, I would have learned a lot about you, and you in turn will learn a lot about me. There are three kinds of people you will meet in the course of your journey, young people. I'm addressing this because I think some of us have met these guys already. The first type are poor people. They are poor by the way they think, the way they react to situations. So these guys are people that are totally vested on the immediacy, what they can get immediately. I've had PAs that think like that. I've had mentors even back in the day that think like that. I've had people that have met a measure of success in their lives, and because of how they think, they put a ceiling to their advancement. They also think like that. They're about what they can get immediately. You owe me money. I want money in my pocket. They chase money, they chase and chase money with a certain obsession, a relentless obsession. They push every mountain. They will offend anybody. They will burn any bridge. They will take it to the extreme when you owe them. All they want is money in their pocket to solve their immediate need. All they want is that paper currency, money in their pocket. And so their need never ends. They keep chasing money. They keep chasing it like an obsession. The second type of people you meet are the rich. So they are fixated on acquiring status symbols. Everything they do in their life is vested on the kind of houses they can show off to their friends or to the world, the kind of cars they drive, what they wear, kind of wristwatches they wear. I mean, a lot of us here, sometimes even a present company is guilty as charged. We just want to show people how successful we are by what we've acquired in life. So we'll work for it, we'll relentlessly pursue our lifelong pursuits to gain this status symbols. As we acquire them, we vet to get more. And in that order, all we do is show these things off. We're exhibitionists. The ostentatious lifestyle never ends. We keep chasing, we keep showing up for one singular reason alone. That is to show that you're rich. Then the third people, the kind of people that I think I have become, that I've vet to become, are the wealthy people. These are people that live predominantly on ideas. They live for it. They think it. They sleep it. They eat it. They will convert any relationship with anybody that can give them ideas. They will live with anybody. They will tolerate anybody that has ideas. Because ideas, these are what solves the problems of the world. And once you solve one problem, therein lies the wealth. So these are people that embrace everything that consecrates around ideas. We should sort this kind of people, make friends with this kind of people, because these are the only kind of people that will advance your cause in every form or shape of your dream. The people that live for ideas. Now, the one thing that I want to do is have a conversation with you, because in so doing, I'll be able to know how to react or how to answer certain questions that you have. I think I asked for people to be at different points of the room, okay, so we can start. I'm talking about fielding questions on every subject matter under the sun. You ask, and to the best of my abilities, I will answer. Can we start, please? This is the interactive session that I spoke about. So let's start. Who has a question? Wow. You don't waste time, do you, sir?
This is actually a question I'd wish to ask.
What's your name, sir? I'm so sorry.
My name is Solomon.
Nice to meet you, Solomon.
My question is, did you have to become a bad boy to be able to play the role you play in movies?
Did I have to become,
a bad boy?
A proud boy.
Bad
boy.
Yes. To be able to play the roles you play in movies, because when we were young, we used to watch you doing all the bad things in the movies.
Wow.
So I just want to know.
Well, I wasn't expecting that question. I expected something from another angle. But be that as it may, that is what we're here for. I don't think anybody goes out to intentionally become bad. You know, I don't think you wake up in the morning and say, today I am going to be bad, for the world to see how bad I am. No, I think a lot of people, there's a certain translation emotion that is lost in a lot of people as regards my job description. It is, at the end of the day, a job. You understand? It's just a job that I happen to be extremely good at. So if you had a certain conviction when you see my movies that I am bad, well, I suppose there's a degree of bad in everybody. Yeah, so, no, it wasn't intentional. There was a metamorphosis that was going down in Nollywood at that time. It's called typecasting. So it so happens that the first few films I made were bad roles, right? And I happened to have warmed up leaving to the billing so much so that producers, they're very superstitious lot back in the day. Whatever sells, they latch onto it and decide to make it an enterprise of sorts. So a few bad roles, they decided that one is exceptionally good at that. So let's offload all the bad roles on him. And I couldn't complain because I was starting out my career. I didn't have a say at that point. You go with emotion. We're going to come to all that later as to how to develop a certain work ethos in your life, how to develop a certain schedule, how to enhance, and of course, when to say no in your life. Some people say no too early in their life, and that's when it becomes a question of ego. Some people say no at the right time in their life, and that's when it becomes a question of wisdom. So we will differentiate all that, we'll demarcate all that as we go. But yes, I hope that answered your question, sir. I'm not bad. I'm the greatest guy you've made. Trust me, man. But don't test me, though. All right, so can somebody ask me a little more organic questions as to why we're here?
All right, sir. I'm Prosper.
What's the name, sir?
Prosper. Prosper.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
As a succeeding question to that of Mr. Solomon, I want to know, did those roles really leave any character trait in your life which, moving on, had made you leave them positively or negatively?
It's echoing on what I wanted to catch it at some point. Could you repeat the question, please?
All right, as a succeeding question to that of Mr. Solomon's, did those roles you play in the movies leave any kind of character trait in your life, which, moving on, you find yourself or you stumbled in leaving them as your personality?
It's a very good question. So there's something in my industry called the characterization that a lot of people are not aware of. I'll give you an example. Mr. Day-Lewis, he happens to be one of the greatest thespians of our time, is of English extract. He's an English actor. I think he's won the highest number of Oscars in our job. Okay. On his third Oscar, his wife was sitting up front like you are right now, and he said to her, "Thank you, my dear, for taking me in all those years. Because every night, a different man came to your bed. And in all those nights, you managed all of them. So my greatest accolade goes to you." I'll interpret it. Roles has a way of being a part of you. If you're a method actor like I am, you leave your role. I leave it. So within a time when I'm playing one of those twisted characters, my household knows to stay away from my path. I promise you. Even my son senses it sometimes. I mean, he's so good at sensing it, it's ridiculous. So you have to stay within the ambience of that mood, that sentiment. If I'm playing a dark character and I'm happy-go-lucky all the time, hanging around, having fun, it will be hard for you to make the transition every time on set. So you stay dark, you stay within that mode, so you can execute the character. So many times, a lot of actors take these things to work, these sentiments to work, to their homes, and they find it hard to come out of it. Okay, so there are traits that go with you. I've pretty much played every character trait that is easily imaginable. And yes, at some point, your archives, your mental archives especially, become like a filter. You sieve the good from the bad. I've retained those qualities I think that is very good, that pushes me, that advances my cause, makes me a better person, makes me far more emotionally intelligent than others. So, yes, you leave a part of what you act. It's inevitable. You can't avoid it. So, naturally, you sieve the good from the bad. Thank you. Yes, sir. Are we going to give a chance to the guys up to ask questions at some point?
Please, I'm
Okay.
right up
I'm
here.
just stating, basically. Okay, sir, go ahead. Go ahead, I'm with you. I'm with you. My apologies. I was just making a point. Could somebody give... Oh, somebody else is with the mic. I apologize. We'll come right back to you, yeah?
Please, I'm Bright. And my question is actually in two folds. How did you discover your purpose? That's the first question. And how did you master it?
Discovering your talent is a whole different mantle, my brother, because I stumbled on it, really. I was broke. I didn't like being broke. I wanted to be rich. And they said, be famous is the easiest way. It's also the most gullible reason to start anything in your life. It's the easiest reason. It's also the most superficial reason. I found my depth much later. I'm telling you, like some 8-9 years down my career. But in the beginning, the whole point was to be rich and famous. You understand? I wasn't caught up for the 9 to 5. I had graduated very early in my life. I was barely 19 when I got my first degree. Quickly got my postgraduate. When I completed my course with my father, I said, hey, Daddy, I wanna act. My dad touched my forehead and said, it seems this fever that worries you all the time is back. Seriously. And then the ensuing argument that followed back to back, the man said, listen, there's no cause. If you were some dull student, it's different. But you are utterly brilliant. I was always first. I mean, I know every parent says this, and every big brother, when they say I'm always first of my class, well, it's true in my case. That's what made my case even harder for my parents to accept. The fact that I was really good in school. So what is the problem? You're not struggling in school. Why do you want to go join this group of loafers, as they were perceived then? But as Jay-Z said, you can only be sure once. There's no second guessing it. There's no tongue-in-cheek expression of what you want to be, of your purpose, when you speak about it. I was sure. I didn't want to do banking and finance. It was a beautiful course. I didn't want to pursue something in psychology. I mean, that was even far more respectable as at that time. I wanted to be an actor. I was sure once. And I was ready to weather the storm that came with it, including my parents kicking me out of the house. So I left home for 2 years. I couldn't come back home. But in all that time, I knew that I was right. I knew that this is the only thing that would give me joy. I had friends that were in school with me that advanced their course, because the natural pattern my parents wanted was, after your postgraduate, you're done by 19, by 21, you're done with your postgraduate, master's at 23 at best. By 26, 27, you have your doctorate, and then you go head one of those Fortune 500 companies, buy us a big house and Rolls Royce, and everybody is happy. So I flipped the script, and they weren't happy with it. The whole understanding about it is that be careful what you set your children or people that look up to you, the course you set them on. Is it a course that truly makes them happy? Is it what they will embrace for life, like a lifelong pursuit, and they're best suited for it, the entirety of their being? It took me a few years to understand that this was what God created me to be. This was the pursuit that I was to make of life. And after a few years, I had another conversation with my dad. And I said, the plan was always different. I didn't even understand it. I didn't even understand. And I joined the industry, as you all well know, when things weren't that lucrative, so to speak. It wasn't that prosperous. Okay? The light at the end of that tunnel was quite dim. And the harder you walk, the dimmer it became. And that's the funny thing about it. And then I was pitted against the challenges of people I went to school with, finished far earlier than them. I was far smarter than, well, go for it, but that's the truth in school. And they were doing so well financially. So there was always a point of regret in my home when they say, oh, look at him. He's advanced his course, he's doing so well, he's the MD of that company, and you're still telling me that you're struggling for roles somewhere. But I knew what I wanted. for myself. And I knew that if I chased it to the end, every other thing would add up. The company ownership my father always aspired, I own it or co-own it. Every other thing that he pointed at and said, your friends or colleagues or people you went to school with, this is the end result of what they would have achieved. I believe I'd achieved it and superseded it. I'd become 10 sons in one based on one conviction alone. The understanding that this was my purpose in life. So you can be sure once. There's no second guessing it. And once you're sure once, forgive me, no parent, no pastor, no friend, nobody that exists in your world or coexists must tell you differently and you listen. Chase your dreams. It's really that simple. There's no algorithm about it. It's not rocket science. It's not complicated. Once you're fixated on that, I'm telling you, it's only you that know. There's nobody that will tell you differently. Only you know that this is what I want to do. So you have to dream. It is in that space, that nucleus, that you have to create your dream. Create that dream as big as it is, as it possibly can. If you go to sleep dreaming about a certain endeavor you're undertaking, and you think you have the skill set, and you're totally comfortable sleeping at night while you're having this dream, my brother, slap yourself and wake up again. Then take sleeping pills and go back to sleep. Your dream, that is the entirely wrong dream. Your dream should scare you. Your dream should make you dumbfounded. You should be unable to explain your dreams to your friends because they will not believe you. They will not support you. You must find it extremely difficult to explain your dreams to people that love you and you love them in return. They are not meant to understand it. I sat down one day, I think 2 days before I left, I called a family meeting and I told my parents and my entire family that this is what I want to do. I really feel in my bones everything about it. I mean, that was a 19-and-a-half-year-old version of me. I told them this is what I want to do. So these are the area of expressions that, and my dad said, listen, you're going to waste your life away. There's absolutely nothing there. There's no potential. Look at people that have done it before you, people that are doing it now, people that are projected to do in the next 5 years. There's nobody with financial independence amongst them. And my sisters were crying like, okay, this is the war that families have been experiencing that's coming to our home now. Because the only son of the family, I have 6 sisters, by the way, I was the only son. And if you're of Eastern extract, in Nigeria, you understand that the child, the first son, the entire dream frame of reference in the family is vested on you alone. So if you falter or you blunder, you are taking down the entire structure of the family with you. They invest everything. The father will sell land, will sell private things, will get uncomfortable raising money to give you the best of everything you want so that you can carry on the family name with dignity. So imagine when I came back and I said, I wanted to act. At some point, my dad said, why didn't you even tell me this earlier? I wouldn't have to go through the trouble of putting you through school. All those elite schools I put you in, I would have just dumped you at home or found somebody. I mean, you would have told me so I wouldn't have to invest this far. Why are you telling me after the second degree? You would have told me after your secondary school. So I was looking at my dad like, really? The 14-year-old version of me is supposed to know what I want in life? But that was the point. That argument passed, and I started chasing my dream. But I chased it alone, so it was extremely difficult. I went through circumstances that it's not for discussion in this room, but ta-da, I did win at the end. And that's what's important. So you can only be sure once, my brother.
Great.
Okay.
So we have our online family members.
Yeah.
So if you want to send a message, please go ahead and send your message. You can send in your questions. Jim will answer. Just send them online as you're viewing. I have another question here.
So let's acknowledge some of them who are also part of it so they don't feel left out. Mami Adom Akenton says, Jim Iyke is a great speaker. Fosina Asabel says, chase your dreams and be ambitious about it while focusing. Raphael says, very good program. And this one over here says, why did you
I can't hear you. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
They're all online comments, not questions for you for now.
Okay, can we take them one at a time? So that
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay.
So this is just those who are watching online and contributions on that. So we'll take some of the online questions a bit later, but go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Thompson.
Hi,
I realize that, Thompson, I realize that you've actually worked with a lot of people and across the world. What has friendship done for you?
What?
What has relationship done for you?
Relationship is everything, sir. Trust me. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are and what you're likely to become in the next 5 years. It's a promise. It's not juju. I'm not some medium. I'm not a spiritualist, but I'll get it down to the T, the exact predictions of what you're to become in the next 5 years. So to garner a relationship is the wealth we're all here gathered talking about. At the end of the day, if I didn't have a relationship with Pastor B, he wouldn't be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, come. And I'll leave everything I'm doing, and I'll come. It was born out of respect, a certain reciprocal, because I know in the event that I need him, he will come. No questions asked. I don't have to know him for 10 years to respect him, to regard all his visions and his purpose, to make it coexist with mine, to connect with mine. So everything I've done came out of relationships. There are few countries I can name in the world that I can go to at this moment, and I won't find one person or the other that's ready to host me. So 2 weeks ago, we did 3 countries in a row. He knows, I finished about 5 a.m., jumped on the 9 o'clock flight to come out here, no sleep for 2 days. We did 3 countries back to back. We did Dubai, we did Dar es Salaam, we did Kigali, then back to Lagos, yeah? And I took a small group of business partners. We had investments set up in 4 countries. What I wanted to do was just go there, introduce them to the powers that be, lay the plan, and then the lawyers and all the other people that we hire would take over. So it was important that we made this trip. But then the concern was, one of the major financiers, his concern was that he's one of those men that everything has to walk to the T. Everything is used to a certain lifestyle. So his concern was, we need to call, we need to book, we need to move ahead, cars have to be ready, PAs, and I told him, don't worry. I got this. You don't have to worry about anything. But every airport that we stopped, there was a chauffeur-driven car, there was a PA present, the hotel accommodation were not messed up. Every meeting was held in place. Our objectives, our aim in each country was realized far beyond our imagination.